Welcome, everybody, to the Africa is Watching podcast. I am your host, Mike Mushi. Thank you so much for joining us. And we always appreciate you guys joining us and listening to our conversation. Today, we have a YouTube creator, a Pan-African YouTube creator. He's called Swahili Nation. He'll introduce himself, his platform, his goals. We'll just have a conversation. Please feel free to ask your questions, like comment in the comments below, give us your opinions. And today, before the podcast is over, we have a giveaway. But unfortunately, the giveaway just works for people in the United States. So if you're watching from the United States, we have a giveaway, and we are working on coming up with other giveaways that would can apply in other parts of the world. So please, without further ado, let us introduce our guest for today. Hi, Mika.
Hey, my brother Tunacheki. How are you, man?
I'm good. So just say hi to the people watching, and we'll carry on from there.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello, Africa, the world, and Tunacheki family. This is Mika, Lucas Chavala, and I'm the founder of Swahili Nation One Africa Foundation. It is basically the foundation that its main goal and purpose is to have one Africa in our generation. Our vision, we say, towards one Africa of solidarity in peace and love. And our mission is to defend the image of Africa and to bring back all the heritage and to decolonize the mind through authentic knowledge and to create a bridge for oneness and a peaceful Africa. That's our mission. So every single thing that we do, we are focusing on doing that. I'm really glad to be here today, and I would love to invite everybody, if you really like to know more about what we are doing and to just see how we navigate this journey of achieving one Africa in our generation, don't hesitate to visit us on another YouTube channel called Swahili Nation. You'll find there our contents and what we are trying to do. We have a lot of plans and a lot of visions, short-term vision and also long-term vision. And I think, as time goes by, we'll be able to find out that. But, some of them, for example, one of the, this actually is exclusive to Nacheki. You don't know this yet. That we just got our office, the very first office. Yes. We thank God for that. So from this Monday, I think we've been trying to prepare that place. It's humble beginning, and I love one scripture in the Bible says, "Do not despise the small beginnings." So we just started this small, but we're really glad that we're gonna be there, doing our work, moving from home where I am right now to the office. And so I believe from that point forward, it will really help us to achieve those goals that we have in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and other years to come in the near future.
That's great. So when you mean an office, you also mean a studio, a place for creating where you can have other creators come in and...
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, we have a foundation, and at the same time, we are creating content. So basically, we are playing all those kind of roles. So the place that we have right now, it will operate as a studio. It's just a single room, but we can just transform it to be as a studio, as well as the office whereby we can meet our people and diaspora who are coming back home to Africa, maybe visiting here Tanzania. They'll be able to come there to their home. That will be their place, their home, and we'll be able to work together there. To just see how we can unite our continent.
That's great. So people in the chat are wondering why Swahili Nation. So how did that come about?
Yeah, I love that. So when I was thinking about especially, how should I call this? Because the vision of uniting Africa and doing these things, it has been in my heart for the past 10 years, but I started to do it effectively like 4 years ago. So when I was trying to think, like, how should I code this? I remember first time I code like, I remember I coded Swahili channel or something like that. But then later on I realized that, oh, I'm kind of like managing, I'm limiting myself to reach out to the entire continent of Africa. So I was thinking, what kind of name should I call this new nation? Because I was thinking about having this new nation that it will include everybody, people in the continent and people from outside as well. At the time I was living in South Korea. So I was thinking, how should I call this? I thought about calling, like, one nation. I thought about calling it something else, but then, I'm from Tanzania, and this is kind of like Swahili land. So I was thinking that, okay, maybe I should include a little bit of my identity, which is like, I'm a Swahili person. I'm coming from the Swahili coast. I should call it Swahili, but the second name, I wanted to create a new nation. It's kind of like a new country, Swahili nation. So that's why I call it Swahili nation. And another reason why I had to name it Swahili, because I was thinking about what the founder of Tanzania, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, he united Tanzania. Tanzania, we have like more than 121 different tribes and different languages, but he united all of these 121 different tribes and languages through one thing. One of the element that called language, Swahili language. And since my mission is to unite Africa, so I was thinking, okay, maybe this, not maybe, this is sure for sure, it's something that we can use to unite our people as well by promoting the single language. Yes, we have a lot of languages that we are using. We can learn those languages, but it's important to have a language that can identify us as a people, because this is our own language, right? It's African language. It's the comprises of different kind of language, both locally and also internationally. So that's why I named it Swahili Nation. So basically, the literally meaning of Swahili Nation is one Africa, is one nation. That's why I call it Swahili Nation, One Africa Foundation.
Scapegoat Media is saying also, and remember that Swahili Nation was a music group in Kenya. I remember, and the songs were amazing.
Let me give you
Hakuna Matata, right?
Exactly. So the funny thing is this. I'm gonna be very brutal honest with you guys. So when I was thinking about this name, I did not know that Swahili Nation Music Group exists. The day I came to find out that Swahili Nation Music Group exists, because I know this song like Hakuna Matata, but I never knew it because there's so many versions on the internet. So one day I went on the internet and I was like, okay, let me find if there's any other website of Swahili Nation when I was thinking about creating the website. So I went online and I typed Swahili Nation. The first Swahili Nation came, it was the music group from Kenya. I was like, oh my goodness, how come I did not know that there was Swahili Nation already exists long time ago? So I think, from that point, I was like, oh, this is our OG, our people who were here. They already did amazing, to represent the continent, and I kind of felt like I'm doing basically the same thing. It might not, and I started to do reaction before doing what I'm doing right now, right? So for them, they based in music, but right now we are reviving this, Swahili Nation thing in all kind of spheres, and reminding people that the meaning of Swahili Nation is more, than just music, but we're talking about one nation, we're talking about one Africa. So I'm really proud that we have legends that they already had this name in the past, and kudos to them. Salute.
So one thing that people, the Tunachiki community, like when they're reaching out, the first thing they ask me is like, oh, how can I invest back in Africa? How can I move back in Africa? Then the second thing, they always ask me about Swahili. So many people, especially in the United States and in the UK, love Swahili. There are some are learning Swahili. And so what's your thought on that? And what is the foundation doing on maybe enabling people to learn Swahili, because there's Swahili for Africa. One of our friends from Ethiopia who's following that path. So what is your idea of Swahili spreading to the diaspora as a language?
Actually, that's really beautiful. Actually, even ourselves, we are doing it.
Yeah.
Me personally, for
Mhm.
instance, me personally, I started to do it when I was in South Korea. I used to
Mhm.
be a Swahili teacher
Oh,
at the
wow.
embassy of Tanzania to South
Ah,
Korea.
oh.
And I met a lot of brothers from Kenya as well. They were doing the same thing, but I was officially there at the embassy teaching all these different people. I remember it was the time when even President Magufuli kind of like South Africa introduced Swahili to their
Mhm.
curriculum. So I had the ambassador of South Africa to South Korea studying, taking my class. I was teaching her Swahili,
Ah,
and
wow.
some other Koreans who they wanted to come to Tanzania or to Africa to volunteer, or to Kenya as well. So I
Mhm.
started back then, like 3, 4 years ago, and even right now, as I'm saying, I'm having some of the students that are actually I train them online, like they're in South
Mhm.
Korea and they are about to come here Tanzania maybe around, I mean, at the end of this year. So we kind of like have online classes and I am teaching them, from the beginning, to the end. So I believe for those diaspora who interested in learning Swahili, I think Swahili classes are everywhere these days. I mean, even in US or all these
Mhm.
countries, like even Korea, imagine
Yeah,
even China,
like I
people they
think it's
can learn.
officially, other than
Yeah.
South Africa, it's officially in Namibia, in Botswana. It's actually being
Mhm.
taught in classes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Which other, like there's another country in Africa that also started teaching, but I've forgotten that. I think Namibia, Botswana, and
Yeah.
South Africa in the SADC,
Yeah.
right? You know,
I'm
Tanzania is now part of SADC, right? Now I think
yeah.
they pushed that Swahili to be taught in schools. Because
Exactly.
a language is very important when you learn while growing it, right? It's very hard to
Yeah.
learn a
Yeah.
language when you're an adult. So yeah.
Absolutely. 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 So for those, let's say you're diaspora and you like to learn Swahili, you would like to study Swahili like face to face, like this online, you can reach out to us as well at oneafricaofficial@gmail.com. Oneafricaofficial@gmail.com. And you'll be able to get teachers. You'll be even me myself, I'll try to squeeze my time, and teach our people. Because this is one of the ways that we spread, our culture and our languages, but also is the way also we make a living out of doing that as well for ourselves and for the visions that we have for this beautiful continent of Africa.
Yeah, and you said it right. Like Swahili, people always think Swahili is like a Kenyan language or a Tanzanian language or a East
Mm,
African language. No, no. Swahili is kind of like a multipolitan languages where it has
absolutely.
many Bantu languages like Kikuyu, Chaga, like
Yeah.
like many Bantu languages plus Arabic, plus a bit
Yeah.
of some like it's just a melting pot of a language which will be
Mm,
perfect for Africa, right? So
absolutely.
the bad thing with like Africa is that there's so many languages and like we've been split so many continents and regions
Yeah.
and right. So when somebody wants one language for Africa, the Nigerians are
Mm,
like, oh, we want our language. The Egyptians
yeah.
are like, oh, we want our language. The South Africans are,
Yeah.
we will like our language. So the good thing with Swahili, it is
Yeah.
nobody's language, right? It's a language that
Absolutely.
grew up with people. So when you say you want Swahili, nobody can say, hey,
Mm,
Swahili is from this particular community or this particular
yeah.
tribe. It's just
Yeah.
an even language that represents like all the four
Africa.
corners of Africa. Definitely the Bantus,
Absolutely.
the Nilotes, the Kushites, and
Yeah.
like all regions. So that's
Yeah.
why Swahili I think would be a perfect language for when Africa becomes
Mm,
united, right? Like a one
abs-
United
yeah.
Africa, everybody speaking Swahili as a first language,
Mm,
and maybe now your other languages as a second
yeah.
language. Yeah.
That's
So
that's that is the big battle that for a long time Tanzanians and Kenyans have been having. That talk about Swahili and everything. But you said something very interesting, because when we think about Africa, most of the time we exclude northern part of Africa and we talk about sub-Saharan Africa. But Swahili, it could be used to actually even unite the entire continent, including North Africa as well, because 30% of Swahili comes from Arabic, like
yeah, yeah,
30%.
and let me tell everybody a fact. There's no such thing as sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah,
Like that's
absolutely.
like a made up. That's like maybe
Yeah.
you're saying, oh, I come from Atlantis, or I come
Mm,
from like this Tatooine in Star Wars, or I come
absolutely.
from a magical area. There's no, as in, if you look at the African map, there's no
Yeah.
division. There's
Mm,
as in it's like saying you come from East North Africa and I come from East South Africa. As in, like there's no such
It
thing
doesn't
as
make sense.
sub-Saharan
It
Africa.
doesn't make
So
sense.
and the reason they always use sub-Saharan Africa, it's kind of like,
Mm.
the old tricks of divide and conquer. Like, oh,
Yeah,
like, let's separate the Muslims. We, like, with Africa,
yeah.
there's so many Muslims. Like I think Nigeria,
Mm,
except Egypt, right?
mm, mm,
Nigeria has more Muslims than
mm.
I think than the whole of North Africa
Yeah,
combined. So so
absolutely.
so so, so if you say, hey, we are dividing Africa based on the
Me,
Muslims on the north, and like it
doesn't make
doesn't
sense.
make sense. Nigeria has more Muslims than majority,
Mm,
like, of you guys. So it
absolutely.
definitely doesn't make sense. And think about, like, if you're a Fulani, right? How
Mm,
would it work? Like, Fulani are nomads. Fulani are like Maasais.
mm,
The beginning of the year they start in Chad. By the end of the year,
mm.
they're in Algeria, or
Yeah.
they're in Morocco, or they go
Mm,
to Burkina Faso. So somebody like that, will, like, when they said, "Where are you from?"
mm,
I'm from
mm.
sub-Saharan, or no. It just doesn't make sense for, like, even the terms. And
Yeah,
have you ever noticed it's only Western media that uses the term sub-Saharan Africa, right?
absolutely,
So
absolutely. Because
so,
it's
so
it's their agenda.
yeah,
It,
definitely.
from the first place, yeah.
Yeah.
They
So,
always, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
so
go
I'm
on.
saying, every time you hear sub-Saharan Africa in the news, just take it with
Mm,
a grain of salt, whatever information is coming, because as you said, it
yeah,
has an agenda. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm, mm.
So now let's go to maybe now the creation, because we're both creators on YouTube. Your
Yeah,
channel has been growing very
yeah.
rapidly, and like
Mm,
we always love this movement of Pan-African channels. Like we would
yeah.
love, because I always say this, it's cool. It was cool us reaching 1 million subscribers, but
Mm.
it will be cooler if there are 1 million Pan-African channels, right? They've
Wow,
been
wow.
growing,
I love
right?
that.
Yeah,
I love
like there's so many these days. I think
that.
they're like 100 or so. But I would
Mm,
love to have a
mm,
million African creators doing what we do. That will be
mm.
like a dream come true. Because
Yeah.
when that happens, there'll not
Mm,
be, like, we will not give Western media a chance
yeah.
to tell our like our story,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So you, like, as a creator now, we can start with, what are the challenges of being a YouTube creator, or like, or because this creator means TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram, even this new one, it's
Yeah.
called Threads, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you can tell me the challenges.
Wow, that's that's a good one. That's a good one. First of all, I really love I mean what you're doing and what you said, because it's one thing to talk about things, but it's another thing to do it. You said here that you wish we'll have like more than 1 million Pan African YouTube channels, and from what I know about you, my brother, it's not just something that you talk about it. You're doing it right now. Like right now we're here as a Swahili Nation, growing channel, and we're here being promoted by one of the biggest channels we have in Africa. Not We don't have this kind of stuff. So first of all, I really want to appreciate that, for your heart, and for taking this chance to just promoting other creators. I think this is one of the challenges, the first challenges that we're facing as the content creators. Like I feel like we don't really have like the genuine collaborations and support as well, just genuine like support. Sometimes we talk behind the scene, the issue sometimes we might face, from like one content creators to another, having all these strikes sometimes, like I've actually received some of them, very very soon. It's like 1 week ago I received like twice two
Wow.
strikes, and I was
Wow.
at the blink of losing the channel. Imagine, like, channel was just blowing up, blossom. And I was going through all these videos that we upload, and I was just going, I was just reading the comments of the people, especially our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, and man, I was just crying. I even made a video. I did not expect to cry, but I made a video and I just could not stop myself from crying. And it's just a part one, and I haven't done part two yet, because I am kind of like, I don't want to cry again like that in the video. So I'm kind of like, I'm withholding myself from doing the second one, but I'll do it. So I think the first challenge is that we as Africans, we are not really supporting each other. Like, we as a content creators, I'm talking about us as a content creator, sometimes we feel like, if I come here, I'm gonna steal all of your audience, that they're gonna come here to me. You know what I'm saying? Like we feel like that in our hearts sometimes. We don't say, but we feel that, which is ridiculous. Like if you have your fans and people who love you and love your content, they ain't gonna leave you. They're gonna be there with you forever. Like even if I come here or even another content creators come here, it doesn't really matter, right? So I feel because of that, like I was supposed to lose, but thank God, you cannot imagine, my brother, what I had to go through. Like
Mm.
this is what I had to go through. I had even to go through people who have been working in the, kind of like state house here in Tanzania, to contact other people in another country that are
Mm.
working in the same place. I had to contact like 2 3 people, and they had to kind of like, talk to these people that, hey guys, this is the same mission and all this stuff, you know but in all of these, we all do make mistakes. So myself, through that, I had to learn that, next time I think I have to do this and this and this. And you remember we talked about this.
Yeah.
And also from the other side, I was just saying that, oh, I really wish that, I mean, these guys that are doing the same work I'm doing, I really wish, they do understand this. And I really wish that, nothing like this will ever happen to anybody, because when you invest so much time, you invest everything you have, even a little capital money that you had, you invest everything in this thing, and then in just a single day you might lose everything. That's pretty scary. So I think that's the first big challenge that we are facing: collaborations. And I thank you for stepping out and being here to actually, it's no longer a challenge, but you're actually solving it. That, okay, this is the way we're supposed to, this is how we're supposed to help one another. Because if we support one another as a content creators, I believe we can reach out to the entire continent, and even people who are outside. Because your followers are your followers, my followers are my followers, and we have some followers that we share. Like sometimes I'm looking at the audience and it shows me that, these people from Tunacheki, they're watching your videos. It shows us
Mm.
in
Yeah,
analytics, right?
yeah,
I see that.
definitely, definitely. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And I see that, oh, so these guys, they both follow like Tunachek, they follow Swahili Nation, they follow this guy. And because they see there's a test in Tunachek, they see there's a test in Swahili Nation, and they're not the same. And because of that, we can actually grow stronger and have that 1 million pan-African, subscribers. That's the first thing. The second thing I would say, and I'll be brutal honest as well, because we've always tried to be brutal honest. I think the second thing is the finance part. I
Mm.
think this is one of the things that every content creators, they're facing in one way or another. I think still the awareness and the support, it's not yet there. Like it's not yet there. Like you don't see as much as support you see maybe in other. For example, there's these guys that I always watch them. They're doing like soccer reactions, right? There's
Mm.
guys that I've been watching them all the. When you look at their live stream and they're doing their stream there, man, like if you see the support and the dollars and the euros are just dropping out there, man, I'm looking at. Sometimes I just stayed. I was like, oh, this is 10,000. Oh, this is 20. Like within a single hour, like the support is real, right?
Mm.
And these guys, they're able to actually do it in a huge dimension, right? So for us, Africa, I think we need to support, our people and our content creators, whatever you can, even if it's just $5 or $1. It's very important, because you have no idea how much it supports those content creators. We have seen
Mm.
a lot of time people with dreams, people with vision, they're just telling them out because some other rich people, they just come and they'll be like, hey, we want to buy this and we want to do this, and they sell their vision, whatever they have, not because they don't believe in their vision, but because of the finance, because of that, because we don't do any other thing apart from what we're doing. Like this is what we're doing 24/7. And
Mm.
people, they see you, my brother Tunacheki here, but you have a team behind you. You have a
Mm.
team who
Definitely.
depend on you. You have bills that you have to pay. You have a studio. You have all this stuff that you need to pay every single month. And how are you going to do it just by just depending on maybe the viewers or the income that is coming from the viewers? So I think it's a time. We have a lot of people, like a lot of people here. If you ask how many people they have subscription in Hulu TV or Netflix, all this stuff, you find a lot of people, actually a lot of people. But why don't you do the same thing to Tunacheki here? Like sign up as a
Definitely.
member. Like
Definitely.
every single month you give $2.99. Just that.
Mm.
Imagine you have
Mhm.
1 million subscribers. Imagine if you had only 500,000 subscribers who they sign membership for just $2.99
Mm.
every single month. That will run channel, that will be able to help and to support a lot of people back there, and you'll be able to do what you're doing right now even in a higher dimension,
Mm.
because most of us, I know you said this before, but for us, we planned this like even a year ago. Like we have a vision to have a media, SNN, Swahili
Mm.
Nation Network, in
Mm.
5 years. We want it to
Mm.
be like a really great, and we've already wrote even a proposal. We have everything written down because
Mm.
we don't want to operating from YouTube, but we want people to
Yeah.
turn on DSTV and to see SNN there, Swahili Nation Network.
Definitely.
We want to be that. And if
Mm.
that will take to have like Tunacheki TV,
Mm.
SNN, and you have other, TVs out there, Pan African TVs, that's what we need to bring this
Definitely.
message and to connect our people, because we see Western media how much they push their agenda to divide
Mhm.
Africa. They push their agenda to change this beautiful culture we have. And how are we going to respond back to them? Are we going to respond back to them through YouTube channel? Well, we are
Mhm.
doing pretty good damn job right now with our
Yeah.
YouTube channels, but imagine if we have TVs. How can we have that? We can
Mm.
have that if we have financial support from you guys who are enjoying our content and watching them. So please, if you're listening to this voice right now, go to membership at Swahili Nation, go to membership at Tuna Cheki, sign up as a member there. We have a Patreon, all right? Go to Patreon in our channel, go to Patreon in Tuna Cheki, go and support, because this is what helps us. There's a lot of costs behind the scene, people they don't know. Let me just say a few of them. For example, for us, we are using music background. Those music background, we buy them monthly because we don't want to get a copyright. We're using this one. Okay, I don't want to promote them here. Anyway, so we're buying from them right every single month. Okay, we have like Africa internet is very expensive, so we had to take the best internet, like the best internet that is really expensive. Every single month you have to pay for that. You have the issues of electricity, you have the issue of people who are working, you have an issue with all this content creation. Sometimes you need, for me, I had, okay, I didn't tell you, like I had, how I removed those copyright strikes from my fellow African content creators. I had to pay them, I had to
Um,
send money. My brother,
mm.
I didn't have a money, but I had to borrow. Let me just say, I had
Mm.
to borrow for one video. I was told to pay $200 for one
Mhm.
video, and I had to borrow because I didn't have to go in to pay. So these are challenges that you can face, because you're not. I was not willing to lose my channel just because of a single video, right? So there's so many other costs that some of them I think even Tunacheki can share, that we need support. And sometimes when you see like there's something like it's not going right, because sometimes you just stuck and you don't know what to do. But because of you guys, and because of your support, because of your viewership, subscription, membership, patronship, sharing, and likes our videos, you guys are helping us. You will help us to even do it in a higher dimension than what we're doing right now. Let me stop there for only these two challenges. I'm talking too much, my brother.
No, 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 no. Like that's why you're here. So to like hear you give your experience. So let me give like the chat a good example of what he's saying, right? So as
Yeah.
we started YouTube in 2016, right?
Mm.
Then like the thing with YouTube, and the reason why we need to also have our own platform is that they can just come up with their own rules, and they've got their own reason. It's their own platform. You can't come to somebody's house and start
Yeah.
asking for things. Like they invite you, you behave, right? Yeah.
Mm.
So
Mm.
so so
Mm.
like I think there's in 2017 Tunacheki got demonetized, right? Because YouTube
Mm.
changed some rule. So
Yeah.
and the only reason we survived till today in 2023 is
Mm.
our members. So
Mm.
you can imagine for almost 1 year it was our PayPal donations, our Patreons, and our members who supported the whole channel, right? And it wasn't something small. So you like you can imagine how much you depend on the monthly ad revenue, right?
Mm.
And then now to make it even worse, so when we also got now remonetized, right?
Mm.
It was,
Mm.
you remember there's a time there was a YouTube ad apocalypse where
Yeah.
advertisers refused to advertise in YouTube. So
Yeah.
immediately we are monetize. Now the advertisers are boycotting YouTube, and there's still no money. You're not even getting 5% of what you used to get, right? So if it wasn't for people, like diehard Pan-Africanists who used to support us on Patreon, like every month, like it will be impossible for like
Yeah.
a media company to like
Yeah.
support the like people it's employing, and
Yeah.
also keep making content, as you said, buy stock
Yeah.
footage, buy
Yeah.
music,
Mm,
pay editors,
mm,
pay marketers, so it is just our community. And
mm.
that's why I also want to like reward like the people who've been with us since the beginning.
Yeah.
So as I
Mm,
said, we're working on our own platform, Nachiki.tv.
mm,
Right?
mm,
So like we will make sure in that website, if you've
mm,
ever donated to Nacheki, if you ever
mm,
become if you have ever been a member, if you've
mm,
ever given us a PayPal donation, even $1, you'd
mm,
get free access, like
mm,
lifetime access to our website, right? It will be
mm,
subscription based. But if you've
mm,
ever supported Tunacheki before, like even if it
mm.
was $1, you get
Wow.
lifetime free
Love that.
access to Tunachiki.tv. As long as
Mm,
it exists, you'll
mm,
always be able to see exclusive movies,
mm,
exclusive content, right?
mm,
Exclusive live stream.
mm.
Just because you helped us when we were in need, right? Now that
Yeah.
we are doing okay, we'll be like, okay, hey, thank you so much for helping us out. Here you
Yeah.
go forever, right? Yeah. So that is how we are rewarding everybody who helped us reach where we are right now, right?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Let me add just this one thing, and
Mhm.
also why it is so important to support through other platform. For example, Patreon. We talk a lot about Patreon. Patreon.com. If you write patreon.com/Mika Chavala, you'll be able to support me as well. We're using this because I was talking to you, brother, earlier this week that the policies of YouTube here in Africa and most of the countries here in Africa is that, for example, here in Tanzania, the all the viewership from the US and all the income that is coming from there, they take 30% of your income every single month.
Mhm.
Guys, 30%. And the reason why is because Tanzania, they don't have tax treat or agreements with the US. And
Yeah.
because of that, the tax you pay to them, it's a lot. It's like 30%. So if you
Mhm.
get like $1,000 in a month, they take 30% out,
Mhm.
and you can imagine how much you have there, right? At
And
the end of
and also in your country, you must pay taxes, which I think Tanzania is around 33%. So you're being
exactly,
double taxed.
exactly. So imagine that 1,000, you remain with nothing, literally.
Mhm.
And I told you all the costs that I told you before. So if you support us in platform like Patreon, at least they take very little. I think they take like 5% or even less than that sometimes. And that it helps a lot. It helps a lot because you get that income. For example, for me, I can literally withdraw direct from there, and then it go to another platform. It comes direct to our bank account, and you can be able to do other things instantly, like anytime, as long as you reach like $50 in Patreon. So that's another way that you guys can support, by knowing that this money, they don't just come all of it. There's a cost that we always need to pay here and there, right? So if you guys are willing to be committed, just $2 a month or $3 a month, you have no idea how much it supports. I know one of our plans and our vision, us here at Swahili Nation, is to go to all 54 different countries, to go there, to meet up, to go to universities, because we want to interlink all these, top universities. We started here, we went to Ethiopia, want to go to other schools as well. Other countries as well, to interlink all these universities from here in that country and that country, bring this message, because we believe when you reach out to university students, soon there will be CEOs, soon they'll be hired somewhere. So if they have that message of Africanness, of oneness, and they step out there, we believe that if you change one leader, that leader is going to change a lot of followers that are behind them or in front of them, or anyhow, right? So that's one of the vision. And who is going to sponsor us? We don't want to write the proposal to UN or to all those organizations that, oh guys, we want you to support. No. We as Africans, we need to support each other. You
Yeah.
guys can actually send us across all the continent of Africa. I cannot believe I haven't even been to Kenya there to see my brother Tunachek. I need to come there to see my brother. But you guys
Definitely
support us,
okay.
all right? We'll be able to go there and we'll be able to produce even better content than what you're seeing right now. I've seen some people, really kind of like, complaining that, oh, why don't you do this kind of content? Why don't you do that kind of content? All this stuff, they cost a lot when it comes to content creations. And without your support, we won't be able to do it. So we depend on you, and we want you guys, and we ask you guys to support us. Yeah.
And also, support doesn't always just mean money. Like for me, like the best support sometimes is sharing and liking a video. You
Absolutely.
really don't know how far that one goes, especially for the liking. All right. So let me teach you guys about YouTube. Right. So
Mm,
long ago, when YouTube started, it used to work with views. Right.
mm,
So the
mm,
more views you have, like you can have a 10-minute video, people just watch 30 seconds, but if people keep watching that 30 seconds, you can have 10 million views, right? That's how YouTube used to
mm,
work. So
mm,
Netflix came along and YouTube started competing with Netflix. So
mm,
now YouTube, instead of views, is changed to watch time. Right. So
mm,
now the important thing before, like a few years ago, it was watch time.
mm,
YouTube wanted now to compete with Netflix. So the longer you watch a video, the better it
mm,
does, right? And then now
mm,
TikTok came along, right? And now
mm,
YouTube always wants to be on top, so it's also competing, right? So
mm,
TikTok came along. Now YouTube changed its algorithm, so they changed it
mm,
to, and this one I got it from my YouTube manager. It's not something I'm just making up, right? So the
mm,
thing is, when you reach 1 million subscribers, YouTube gives you like a personal manager where they help you and they give you some, secrets
wow.
of,
Wow.
how to
I
keep
gotta
on
reach
growing
there
and
as soon
stuff.
as possible, my brother.
Yeah.
Those are new
So,
things for me. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Hmm.
what we were told since the beginning of YouTube has changed its algorithm 4 times, right? So this
Mm,
recent one, what's important for YouTube, what YouTube wants from you is
mm,
interaction, right? Because
mm,
they want the liking, they want the thumbs up, they want the sharing, they want the commenting. That
mm.
shows. YouTube now wants to become a social media to compete with TikTok. That's why they have shorts, right?
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
they want to compete with Twitch. Twitch is for live streaming. That's why it has the live streaming platform and the gaming platform. They want to
Mm,
compete with Netflix. That's why these days
mm,
they prefer longer videos than the
mm.
old shorter videos, right?
Yeah. Mm, mm,
So, as I say, these days, the most important thing you can do as somebody to support a YouTube channel is you be
mm.
active, right? Most people,
Love
they sneak you on. You go to a video,
it. Mm.
like you think on your own, you're like, hey, that's a good video. Sometimes it just helps to write in the comment, even if you have nothing to add, just say thanks for the video. That really helps push a video up, right? So if you, for you guys who don't know, it really helps. So like you can donate $1, but if
Mm,
you comment on 10 of our videos, that
mm.
those comments can get us
It's
even
much more than
$100.
that.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
it adds up. It
Absolutely.
adds up. It adds
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
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 So that's a secret
I
for
love that.
anybody who are wanting to join YouTube and anybody
Mm,
who wants to support a YouTube channel. Be
mm,
interactive, chat with people, start arguments, coil arguments, educate
mm,
people, right? Because at the
mm.
end of the day, we want to educate people about more like Africa. We want to tell our own story, right? So even if you
Yeah.
have a better story, come on, say it in the comments, right? Yeah, add it
Mm,
in the chat. Like it really
mm,
goes a long way. And I always repeat, like it really goes a long way, right? Yeah.
mm.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so, so now that we're talking about technology and how YouTube works, right? I'd like to hear your opinion on AI, right? AI is
Yeah.
this year, everything started with AI. People are worried it's going to take their jobs. People
Mm,
are using it to make money.
yeah.
there's always the first people who are using it. So for you as a creator, what do you think
Mm.
of AI and how are you planning on implementing it in your day-to-day activities?
Yeah. Oh, my brother. Right now we actually, at the middle of talking with, with some people in my team.
Mhm.
This is very exclusive, but we are working on something, behind the scene, because we see that the world is really changing, and I feel like there's no way that we're going to stop this progress that is happening. Like there's no way that we're going to stop. The only thing that we can do us as Africans is to prepare ourselves well enough to adapt to that and to be able to face whatever challenges that we're going to face. Yes, we might lose a lot of jobs, but also we can create a lot of jobs through the same thing, AI, right? And I feel like that's what even the president of Rwanda has been trying to do, really. I mean, in Rwanda specifically, and even Ethiopia, like really focusing on technology and promote that sector of AI, because we believe that is the future. actually that's the present right now. It's not even a future. So for us as a Swahili nation, we're working on something. We are actually developing something like a certain company that, it might be like, it will be based just with technology and all this AI stuff. We are still in the every stage of developing it, and it's a little bit of challenge because someone that I'm working with is not here in Tanzania, is in another country. So hopefully next year, we are praying that he will, come and join us in the team as well. So that as well as cost, so that we may be together in the same room and work every single day to make sure that we make it come to pass. So I think this is the time, and there might be people out there who are really well educated in technology and all this AI stuff. You guys can participate as well. Some of you are diaspora, want to move back to Africa, and you have these ideas of companies, you have these ideas of how you want to move things here in Africa because you have seen the other side of the world and you understand how things move. You guys can come and be part of it. Those places, those spots are there for you guys. If you're coming here and you want to be part of this team, Swahili Nation One Africa, and you want to contribute in that way, you guys can come actually and be part of that, and we can develop it together. Because I don't know everything. I studied economics. I'm an economist, but I want to have everybody. I want to have AI people. I want to have historian people. I want to have all these journalists and all these other people. So if you guys are there and are gifted at that, and you want to support to develop something you guys, you're welcome. You're all welcome. I hope, like, one of the plans we have is, I said before, like, to have a media, but we want to have application like Swahili Nation application, where people eventually they can actually learn even Swahili like that, or access our content through the application. You have a site, you have app as well, where we can monetize, and even that it will generate a lot of money, to what we are doing as well. Yeah, so all those stuff, it really help us, in our fights and in what we are doing.
Yeah, that's a good take. So
Mm.
the good thing for me, I'm also really focusing on AI is because we don't be left behind again, right?
Yeah,
The internet kind of equalized us a bit, right? In the 90s, Africa was so behind.
yeah.
Like I think 99% of everything we used to hear about Africa used to come from the West, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
there were
yeah.
very few people doing what we are doing right now. But because
Absolutely.
the availability of the internet and technology, it's kind of
Mm,
equalized the world. Now we have, at least it's a fair fight, right? If you're
mm,
fighting
mm,
BBCs and the CNNs, right? It's a fair fight.
mm.
It's up to our hard work, right? So
Yes.
if they say something, we can easily counter them. And it's up to our hard
Mm,
work on how much we
mm,
counter. So with
mm.
AI, now it's our turn to try to leapfrog them, right? You
Yeah.
know,
Mm,
right? So think about it, like Swahili Nation or Tunacheki. Once we start integrating AI into our
yeah.
organizations, it will be
Mm,
easier because we are a small team, we are flexible compared
yeah.
to like BBC. If you people don't know, BBC, I think employs 6,000 people, right? So can you
Wow.
imagine if a huge company like that starts
Mm,
implementing AI? Like it'll take years. It will take
mm,
maybe 2 to 5 years before. But for
mm.
us, we can get inside, start taking advantage of this new
Yeah.
technology and frog them,
Mm,
right? So for me,
mm,
that's why I'm saying AI is very important. And here's an advice to everybody watching who who is afraid of AI. So like people, there's always this fear that AI will take your jobs, right? So
mm,
this is the truth. AI will not take your jobs, but you know who will
mm,
take your jobs? People who
mm.
know how to use AI, right? So
I like that.
like it's simple as that. Like
Yeah.
AI won't take your job, but somebody who knows how to use AI will take your
Yeah.
job. So there's this
Mm,
person who uses AI for marketing. You're a marketer. You don't know how to use
mm,
AI. What will a company hire? Somebody who can use this tool to get
mm.
them what they do tenfolds, or just one
Yeah.
person, right?
Mm,
Of course, they'll use the person who knows how to use AI. So when it
mm.
comes to AI, educate yourself. Try to be caught up with what's trending, and yeah, and just like learn to use it. It's like reading and writing, right?
Yeah.
Like it didn't start with everybody knowing how to read and write. It was
Mm,
just a select few, but those people got so much benefit from it, right? So
mm,
before everybody knows how to use AI, right? Before
mm,
they start teaching AI in nursery school, right?
mm, mm.
Now this is the time for you to take advantage, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah. Let's answer a few of questions. I've been bookmarking some questions for Mika, and you can add others as we go through these other ones. Okay. So first, I think this is a question on Swahili. Mika, you can say it. Just read it.
Okay.
Mm.
Second. Didn't Swahili start in the late 1960s or early 1970s, some 50 years ago? This man looks too young to be the creator of Swahili. Yeah, yeah, man. The history of Africa. I mean, the Swahili language. I don't want to go through it because it's you can actually just go on Wikipedia and right there you find out. But everything started with a while ago. A while ago when these Arabs came to actually Africa with all this trading and everything. So you'll be able to actually see how it started. But one of the very interesting thing that I'll always share is that looking at the combination of all these different languages. You have even English, French, German, Bantu languages, Arabic in Swahili. It's a combination of these one. It's like I don't know how to call, I don't know, in Kenya. In Kenya, do you have a food that you actually mix everything?
Yeah.
What was the
L-
name of that?
like I think maybe Mkorogo. I don't know. Like for me, I'm
Mkorogo.
usually
Yeah, we can use that. We can use, so Swahili is like Mkorogo. Oh, it's like salad that it has everything in it.
yeah.
You put even mango there, you put pineapples, you put olive oil, you put everything in there. That's that's Swahili. That's really beautiful. I did not create Swahili. I did not create Swahili. But I created Swahili Nation, and apparently it was there even before I created it. So I guess we're just developing what was already there because there's nothing new under the sun, right? What we're doing right now probably it was done a long time ago. Probably I was doing this in heaven, before I came here on earth. Anyways, but I'm just duplicating it here on earth as well. Yeah.
So also on Swahili, like how the East African coast, the development of those cultures has so much intrigue.
Yeah.
You guys always hear about, like I don't know, the knights and medievals of Europe. In these movies, King Arthur. Like, what if I tell you, like the Swahili culture and the East African coast had more drama than even Game of Thrones. Like the
Oh yeah.
kingdoms, like from the Zanzibar to
Oh
the
yeah.
Somali coast, going
Mm,
down till Mozambique, like all
yeah.
those, the Kenyan Mombasa coast, all those were like different kingdoms and different cultures, and they
Mm,
interacted, they fought, they traded. I'm telling you, like if somebody ever does a show on just the East African coast during the like 1400s, 1200s, 1500s, before even any European even set foot, right?
yeah.
Like it will be such an intriguing story. Like even a good example, like do you know the Chinese came to
Mm.
the Swahili coast around the 11th century, right? So
Oh yeah.
there's this myth, like I think they came they came for trading, right?
Mm,
Like
mm,
I think in the 11th century they traded
mm.
some ports. Because even if you look at um, they're called what these things. If you look at some like these old things they find, there's some Chinese
Ah, this
like pottery and stuff, right? So some traded, some stayed. The languages mixed, they blended in, right? So
mm,
with the Arabs, some
yeah.
like so many cultures, right? People from the interior. So
Mm,
so so like Swahili is so rich. The
yeah.
area, the East Africa area, those islands, Zanzibar, Pemba, like Mombasa, like there's
Kilwa.
so much drama. Yeah, like wish somebody will do a proper documentary on
Yeah.
that culture, like before the Portuguese, before these British people, as
Absolutely.
in before any of
Yeah.
these colonizers came, right? Yeah.
Let me tell you something about that. I met this one amazing African American. I didn't met her, but we met through through the platform like this. Her name is really beautiful. Her name is Zikora Nachidi.
Ah,
she had to name herself with an African name. And one of the things that she does, she's studying actually about that African history. And we already talked. We talked last year that I think she'll be visiting up, Tanzania. She was supposed to visit here on May, I believe, but I guess she'll be visiting later in the future. And we wanted, one of the thing that we plan to do is to go to Zanzibar to actually do this documentary, because she's also a storyteller. She does this storytelling. So we're like, okay, I think you'll be the perfect person that we could work together. We're going to these places, we film all this stuff, and then you do all this storytelling of all these beautiful places that we have. So I went to Zanzibar in January till February. I went there for like 20 times just within 2 months. And then, a couple weeks ago, I had to go to Kilwa, because that's another place that is really, really crucial for the history of East Africa. Kilwa. That's where even slave trade, like those slaves, our people, were brought there and then transferred them to Oman and some other parts of the earth, across the world. So yeah, I think those documentary you're talking about, one day we'll be able to do in the future. Finger crossed. You guys keep praying for us and keep supporting us. I believe they will come, and we'll be able to release them through, our platform. That would be really good. Mm.
So the next one is: do you think Africa will have its own news hub soon?
Um, I believe yes. For example, I shared. I don't want to talk about Africa in general, but I want to talk about me, because I think the only person that I know better than anyone else is myself. So I said at the beginning that I think even right now we're doing pretty good job. For example, Tunacheki, kudos to you guys for the news that you guys are doing through the platform of YouTube that is not really ours. But I'm every time when I wanna get to know something, I always just go to Tunacheki, and I'm looking at this 2 minute, 3 minute video of the news that you guys are producing, right? So I believe we're doing that job. But the news hub, it's very important for us. We have that vision to have the media in 5 years. Right now, basically 4 years from now, and we've been working and trying to write it up down. And one of the guy that we're working together is actually a journalist. He just graduated, and that the guy that we have been talking about this, that hey man, I think you will be in charge of this, and we are trying to develop one step at a time. So we kind of like have everything settled down, and we believe that we can do that in this couple years. So yeah, everything is possible. Like everything is possible, and as long as you have a vision and you're working day and night to make it possible, it's going to happen. Today we're here on YouTube. Tomorrow you'll be watching us from your DSTV, maybe not even DSTV. You'll be watching us from our own kind of DSTV. We'll invent all those kind of platforms, and you guys will have our own Kingamuzi and watch us straight from there.
And
Yeah.
the funny thing about this question, it's who's asking. So I'm assuming this is not the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, but last year, I think early this year, Abiy Ahmed announced that they're working on a African Union 24-hour news website. And some people from the African Union contacted me when they were doing the consultancy on how it would work, right? They want to become a news agency. News agencies are like Reuters and Ruptly, where they provide content for now reporters. They go, they've got their own team. Like for them, they don't report on the news. They just they provide their videos. Then now media houses buy or work in collaboration with them, right? So African Union is working on an African-based 24-hour media news channel, right? And when that one becomes a reality, it would really help us out, right? Instead of waiting to hear what this Western media news think about Africa, we can just be, telling our own story, 100%. Right?
Absolutely. We need as many news hubs as we can. We need as many as we can to push our agendas and to push everything. If one thing comes, all of us we push together, content creators and our news media, we push just like them how they do that. Man, I'm telling you, Africa is the new superpower. You know what I'm saying? And we just need that. We need media to back up our messages. The reason we don't have media, so we don't really back our message, and it's just vanishing. I've been really surprised because I'm going right now, I'm digging all these speeches, for example, Yoweri Museveni of Kenya, of Uganda, and all these other presidents of Africa. And man, like the things that they were talking about like 10 years ago and all this stuff, man, I'm like, wow, why I did not get to hear this? That's the reason why I'm sharing all this old stuff these days. Because I believe once we have news like that, man, like our people, our kids, when we are not here, man, tunacheki, when we're in heaven, we have already done our work here on earth and we're just resting there looking at our sons and grandsons. They're doing pretty good job here on earth, with the news media and just showing our messages and showing our videos like this, re-showing them again that, oh, this used to be my grandpa and all those stuff. It'll be really cool. So yeah, it's soon it'll be here.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. I think
Mm.
this one is for you. So
Yeah, it's Swahili Nation, a Christian-oriented channel. Okay, I need to go deeper to this because because I know I've received a lot of that. So allow me to say this that for me, when I got this vision, I said this 10 years ago. It's not something that came from nowhere. For me, I'm a Christian. I'll say that I'm a God feeling. I'm a believer, right? And I love God to that extent. And that's when I got this vision. Long time ago. Long time ago. I said 10 years ago when I was just going to South Korea, and it was really convicted. Imagine, I had this vision 10 years ago, but I had to start doing it like 4 years ago. So it took me a long, very long time to start this vision. But when even going backward, but the story started when I was just a little kid. It started long time ago when I was a little kid, and I don't want to talk about that, but it's very long, long stuff. So what would I say? One thing that I told myself is that if God, you called me to do this, to unite my people, to unite Africa, then I'll always keep you first. I'll always show everybody who comes to Swahili Nation, I want them to see you before they see me. That's why I always pray before I begin and I pray when I end, because I don't want to keep God out of the picture. I think the biggest mistake that we do is when we separate these two things. Because in reality, everything begins in a spirit, everything is there. And I don't want to bring religion, because when you say Christianity, it's a Christian based channel, you already mentioned the religion. So it's not about religion, it's not about Christianity or Christian based channel, but it's about the faith and the belief. Christianity is a religion, Islam is a religion, Buddhism is a religion. But me, as a person, I'm a believer. So it's far way beyond of just a religion, right? Because religion is what divide people, is what separate people. And that's not what I promote. What I promote is God, that we as African, we are God-fearing people. We should always keep God first. And I believe in this fight of one Africa and the redemption of this continent, it will never happen if we take God out of the picture. If we take God out of the picture, basically we don't have moral. Because all the morality we see, is all the laws we see is in our countries, they're actually scripture based. They come from there. Do not steal, do not rape, do not do this. No, all this stuff. They are there. And not only in Christian books, but even other religious books. Religion is God-made thing to find God, right? All of even you yourself, you can invent your own religion today to find God. You can do that. That's how they did. But the faith, all of us were created with that hunger and desire to seek God and to have that relationship with higher power than yourself, right? So that is what you find when you come to Swahili Nation. And that's what I want people to experience when they come there. That it's not just about, Pan-Africanism. It's not just about this one Africa, but there's something beyond that. Why I am fighting for what I'm fighting? Because I have hope. I have hope in a higher power than me. I have hope in God, the Almighty God. And that's what I want people to experience whenever they come there. You cannot really have love, peace, and unity if you don't have God. That's what I believe. And I want people to hear that. And I want people to see that. Yeah. So I believe I answer your question.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Uh, thank you, Mimi Roberts, for the $5 donation. As we talked about this, really goes a long way.
Something in action. Come on, we love you, Mimi Roberts.
Yeah. So let's see another question. This one is for you.
Tunacheki and Mika, do you plan to collaborate with news agencies of your countries or other African countries, or with each other on YouTube in light of expanding your reach? All right. So let me go first. One of the challenges, I don't know about Kenya, but here in Tanzania, one of the challenges we're facing is YouTube. Okay. So the YouTube media that is really doing well here in this country is entertainment and gossip.
And comedy. And
Exactly.
comedy.
And comedy. Those
Yeah,
they do
the same in
really well.
Kenya. The same. Yeah, yeah. Skits,
People, yeah,
funny thing, pranks,
exactly. Exactly. And you see a lot of people that are supporting us, they're actually diaspora, most of them,
Mm.
because they know what it means to want unity for Africa, because they see the other side of the world. And these are the descendants of our forefathers who were taken long time ago as slaves to their country. So they have that a desire of returning home and uniting our people and just awakening our people so that we may change this continent. But my people here, to be honest, most of them, they're not interested in what I do. That's why when you look at the top 5 countries that are supporting me, my country's not there, because they're not interested in
Oh, wow.
listening One Africa. Yeah, they're not interested.
Yeah.
The matter of fact, the first country is Kenya right now.
Ah, wow, wow,
The
wow.
first country is Kenya, my brother, and then you have, and then the second one you have US, and then you have Uganda, and then you have South, no, you have South Africa, and then you have UK, and then you have Uganda. Those are
Ah.
5 countries. The first 5 countries. Yeah, my country is like number 6 there. Thank God it's coming up.
Mm.
Yeah. So a lot of them, they're just interested in watching, like, musicians.
Diamond.
90 exactly 99.5%, they're just interested in gossip. What
Mm.
today Diamond did, what
Mm.
today this person did, what today, but they're not interested in hearing this message what we're saying. So because of that, it's even hard. We're not even recognized by the streams, by the mainstreams, because our channels, they're not focusing on that, they're focusing on something else. When I was doing reaction, I got a lot of attention because I was doing
Mm.
reaction to their songs, to the music, so it
Yeah,
was kind of like
yeah,
entertaining
yeah.
and all this stuff. But when I saw that, I realized that no, this was not my calling, because I was drawing attention in the entertainment side of it, and I wanted to draw attention in something else, to create the new trend. I always say that we Swahili Nation, we don't follow a trend. We are the new trend. We're going to create a new trend, and in a few years from now, people will be madly, insanely, crazy in love with what we're doing and with Africanism because of what we're initiating here today. So that is kind of like the challenge that we're having here in the country. And another one as well, we are not really fans of, I mean, how can I say this? So when you do what we are doing, like standing for Africanism, for the unity, speaking when the evil is happening, speaking against it. When something is not going right, to speak against it, then we're not really loved by even the government sometimes,
Yeah, yeah.
because we we are on the side of people, right?
Mm.
So when something is going wrong, we say, no, this is not right. And so we're not really fan of them. I mean, they're not fan of us. And but our people, they are the one that the people, ordinary folk who are experiencing all these issues all the time, who wants to see. So all these two challenges, it becomes very difficult to actually even collaborate with them, because we're not even there. So the best thing you can do is to be like Tunacheki, like work your butt off until you reach like 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, then they will have your attention.
Yeah,
They will,
definitely.
they will get your attention. Right now,
Definitely.
I'm even, I applaud you, my brother. The African Union, they reached out to you. Why? Because they see your platform, they see what you've done, and they were like, okay, if we want to Toboa, if we want to break out, we need to find these guys, right? So
Mm.
you guys can help us by actually subscribing and subscribing. I was looking at the analytics, my brother. I will ask you the same question. In my
Mm.
channel, more than 90% of people who are watching my content. I don't know why I keep talking about continent. My content, they did not subscribe.
Oh, wow,
Oh,
wow. Okay.
yeah, more than 90% of the
So,
viewer, they didn't imagine.
so for us, like when we were starting off, it was like
Yeah.
that, right? Then
Uh,
we realized the solution to that was very simple.
uh-huh.
Like just tell them, ask people to subscribe, and they will subscribe. So for us right now, I think
Mm.
65% of people subscribe, right?
Yeah.
Our
Wow.
watchers subscribe, right? Like our unique. So maybe we get like a month we get like about maybe 7
Mm.
million views, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Returning views is always more than half, right? Like
Wow. Wow.
which we
Wow.
really love. Like unique views is maybe
I
like
love
2
that.
million,
Yeah.
returning views is more like maybe the 5 million, and which we
Yeah.
love. And then there's something that I love, like I've loved from Tunacheki, how we started. When we
Yeah.
started Tunacheki, as you said,
Yeah.
we talk about
Mm.
more serious things, educational
Mm.
things. People want
Mm.
to listen to Diamond and dance and Burna Boy, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, right? But when we
Yeah.
were starting our Tunacheki, our
Mm.
demographic was
Mm.
between 60 and 70.
Mm.
People who love the news anyway, right? People who care
Mm.
about Africa anyway, all our
Yeah.
parents, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as we are continuing, right?
Mm. Mm.
2 years back, the demographic was more of my age, between
Wow.
35 and 40, right? That was
Mm.
majority.
Mm.
But right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
in 2023, I can say
Mm.
majority of people who watch Tunacheki are younger than
Mm.
me, right? And
Wow.
that's the most
See.
important thing, because it means more young Africans are waking up to the world that we're living in, right? Like they
Absolutely.
just don't want to listen to the music videos. They want to know, hey, what went on in South Africa this week? What went on in
Mm.
Egypt? What went on in
Mm.
Nigeria? Like, and that's the
Mm.
most important thing. The younger
Mm.
that interest age comes, because Africa is the youngest continent, right?
Mm.
Right?
Mm. Mm.
By
Mm. Mm.
2020, I think by 2030, we would be
Yeah.
more than 2 billion, right?
Yeah.
In this
Yeah.
and we will be the youngest continent, with about 70% of that 2 billion being less than
Yeah.
30 years old. So it's
Yeah.
very important for you to focus on the demographic of
Mm.
getting younger and younger people being more
Yeah.
interested in you. And for the
Mm.
solution for maybe having 10% people subscribe to your channel, just ask them
Mm.
in every video. Make sure before the video
Yeah.
starts,
Mm.
subscribe. In the middle,
Mm.
subscribe, because people will do.
Mm.
If you ask somebody nicely, they'd actually do
Yeah.
it. That's the thing we realized, right? So, as if you ever notice, we always put the subscribe. I always thank
Yeah.
people, thank them for the time they give us, because
Yeah.
the time is their money. The time is
Mm.
like valuable, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a
Well,
solution.
what?
Over time, yeah, over
Yeah.
time, try to reach younger audiences and just
Yeah.
ask people to subscribe, and they will.
Yeah. Actually, what you're saying is so right. I think that's one of the things that I was not doing. I was not really asking people to subscribe, but I started like I think I started like 2 weeks ago, and I saw like it's changing. Like even right now, when I'm saying like 90%, what and this is big potential. Like 91.5%, they didn't subscribe. People who are watching, only 8.5% they are subscribers. But 2 weeks ago, it was not even that, right? That means the potential is real. And this is like here, like all the time when I look at it, I'm like, oh, people they love watching my videos, but why they're not subscribing, right? But I think that is the thing. Like we need to constantly ask people to do that. That subscribe, because they do it when you ask. Before I was believing that I don't need really to ask. I mean, if you like my content, you're gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
subscribe.
yeah,
But
yeah. And
now I gotta
and then
change
one thing
that.
we noticed, some people
Mm,
don't think it's important to subscribe, or it's not that they
yeah,
don't want, they just don't know it helps
yeah,
out a creator, right? So you can't
yeah,
blame somebody for something they don't know. So if you just
yeah.
tell them, hey, subscribe, like they would, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's little effort. They just, it's a button,
Absolutely.
like, yeah, yeah. So
Absolutely.
before we continue, African Youth Diaspora Organization, uh, AYDO, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Always goes a long way.
We
And
appreciate that. Yeah.
and Tori Tabo, I think
Hmm. Come on
pronounced it
now.
right. I hope. Yeah. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
Now we are
Really,
talking.
really helps us out.
Now we are talking.
Yeah.
That's what
Wow.
we're
Yeah.
talking about. That's what we're
Wow.
talking
Wow.
about.
And wow, Marriott,
Marie.
thank you. Like Marriott has started with us since the beginning, and we've been talking for an hour. Thank you
Yeah.
so much
Yeah. Yeah.
for the €6, and it's €6,
Let,
six
let, let,
euros donation. Thank you so
let,
much.
let me shout out to her because she is part of our team, Marit. So thank you for being here
Wow,
and for
wow.
support. Yeah. She's
Well,
in my
thank you for
team. Marit,
coming to support Mika.
all the way from Netherlands. So sending
Wow,
love
wow,
to you. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
So, like I think, we agreed on 1 hour, right? So I should respect
Mm.
your time. So let's see. Is there any other burning question? There was one question I wanted us to talk about.
Yeah, no
Because
worries.
okay. So maybe you can try to answer
Okay.
Baba's Brian's question.
Tunacheki, some of us do not have the equipment to start a channel, but we love researching and reading deeply about African history. Do you have a platform that helps with research? That's for you,
Yeah,
Tunacheki.
yeah. So for me, first of all, I'll disagree with you because the only equipment you need for starting a YouTube channel is your face. That's not even a majority. Your
Mm,
voice, a smartphone. You're using a smartphone to watch us and to comment, right? So you have all the equipment you need, right? And
mm,
you've got all the knowledge you have. So create your channel, just talk on the camera, just be honest, be authentic, tell people what you think, right? Like there's no wrong idea. Tell people what you think, and people will react to you the way you like, based on your ideas, and you can improve, or you can try to be better. So that's the only thing you need. Your smartphone. Majority of people watching us have
mm,
smartphones, right? You can use your smartphone, just talk. That's the only thing. And then another tool we use to research news, for us, we
mm,
usually love Ground News. It's this website where it's like a news website, but it's just not any other news website. It tells you
mm,
it tells you details about who wrote the story. It says, hey, this story is written by Reuters. Reuters is owned by this family, which is the sixth richest family in the world. There are a bunch of billionaires. Or this
mm,
is written by Fox. Fox News is owned by Richard, like this Murdoch, who's like a billionaire, right? So it's this
mm.
website that if there's a story about Africa, first of all, you know who wrote it, right? Then they tell
Yeah.
you why did they write it. Is it does it have an agenda, right? So you guys just check out Ground News. Groundnews.com. It really helps, because most people just read the news. You read the news, you believe what you read. This one, it gives you the grain of salt and tells you, hey, these people who tend to write this news are a bit on the racist side, so
Yeah.
necessarily don't believe what they write, right? These people
Yeah.
over here, they've got an agenda, right? So if they tell you, oh, GMOs are okay, like they have an agenda, right? Maybe
Mm,
Monsanto, the largest GMO producer, owns 90% of this media news agencies. So you can
mm,
have information like that with the Ground News, right? And if you go to BBC, yeah, you'll get news. You don't know why they're writing it, right? It always has
mm.
some, agenda. But with
Yeah.
Ground News, if you read the same article in Ground News, it will tell you. And this is a tip, because you've talked that you want to also start your news
Mm,
channel, right? And this is how
mm,
to know what to cover. Because if you just read, if you go to news, you just see the news. Everybody's writing news, right? But
mm,
if you take that same news, you sit in Ground News, right? And it will tell you who wrote it, why did they write it, who else is writing it, and the other people who are writing it, how are they covering it? Are they for it? Are they against it, right? Like a good example with like Uganda and their homosexuality bill, right?
mm,
They'll tell you who's writing this. Is this website is a Christian website? That's why they're against this. This website is a leftist website. That's why they are for it. And it's always good to have that perspective when you're reading news. Most people think journalists, because you're a journalist, that makes you a good person or makes you a professional, right?
mm,
Yeah. No,
mm.
no, 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 no.
Absolutely.
That one is actually in the contrary, right? Successful journalists are the ones who know to play the game, right? They're the ones who give the employers what they want, right? Because a billionaire does not hire you to have your own opinion, right? A billionaire hires you to say what they want you to say, right? So
Mm,
that's very, very important. So the best answer for that, to make the answer short, Ground News. Also for you, Mika, check out Ground News. Start
yeah.
getting your information from there, because it's just not information; it's information with details, right? And that's
Yeah.
very important,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you
Yeah.
you have to know where these things come from. You have to know the agenda. You have to know
Yeah.
like what they're aiming for. And this tool, like even when I call it a news website, it's not. It's more of an analytical tool. It works the same
Mm,
way with your YouTube analytics, right? How
mm,
you can
mm,
go in your analytics and know who's watching, right? As you said, you mentioned Kenya, you mentioned what, right? And that information helps you grow, right? Helps you become a better YouTuber.
Yeah.
So same way, that one will really help you a lot.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
we are almost finishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a chance to tell people where they can reach you on YouTube, on TikTok. Just plug
Yeah.
in everywhere you are, your website. Yeah. So here's your
Yeah.
chance.
Absolutely. Yes, guys. So, you can go to YouTube and you can find us, Swahili Nation. That's the channel right there. And my name is Mika Chavala. As I said, area, you can find me there everywhere. We haven't really started to use other platforms with Swahili Nation except Instagram. If you go on Instagram, Swahili Nation, you find us there. Twitter, Swahili Nation, you find us there. TikTok, you can just write Mika Chavala. I'm everywhere. And YouTube, Swahili Nation. But, very soon, we're coming with all those other social medias. We already have channels there, but we're gonna start operating and sharing everything for you guys to be able to access it. And if you want to support us financially, you can go on Patreon. If you're at patreon.com/Mika Chavala, you'll be able to find us there. And basically that's where you can find us. And yeah, keep supporting us. Subscribe, like, it's very important. Like and you subscribe, it's very important. And sharing here and there, it is very important. And even YouTube, it always gives us a report that this video has been here. It gives that report, so it's always really fascinating seeing that. And also I appreciate Tunacheki for this chance and this time. I don't take it for granted. I value your work, and I appreciate that. Every time when I have any question about YouTube, I always reach out to you, and you're always there, on time, actually, to support, to connect me with this and that. You've always there to support me. I don't know how old are you, but you're acting like a big brother to me. Um, so I just love you, man, and I love to check in what you guys are doing, and I love this collaboration that we have. I can't wait to see you very soon, and to just do something together, face to face. Yeah,
Definitely. And
yeah,
we'll finish it up with some careless question. So in
yeah.
Tunacheki, when we started, I think even when we had, I think 20,000 subscribers, we were
Mm,
always open to collaborating and
yeah.
working with like other YouTubers. So we've got this platform called Friends of Tunacheki, where
Mm,
we just promote YouTubers for no cost at all.
yeah.
We've never
Mm,
charged anything to promote a channel. It's just your effort to reach out, send us
mm,
a good email summary of what
mm,
your channel is about, a thumbnail and a video we want to promote. Make things easier for us. We'll do it for you. So some channels we started with when there are little subscribers. It's Dr. Bumi's channel, right?
mm,
She's this African historian. She's a professor, well
mm.
learned, like very articulate. So her channel even this month reached 100,000 subscribers, right?
Wow,
Yeah, yeah.
wow. Mm,
So just growing. We welcome everybody. Always
mm,
support. Like we've
yeah.
always wanted to support, growing channels. As I said, our goal,
Mm,
people always think our goal for starting Tunachiki was to reach 1 million subscribers. I think we
mm,
reached that one by mistake. Our goal
mm.
is to have 1 million YouTubers doing what we do.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that is
absolutely.
our goal.
I
Definitely,
love it.
that's our goal. So the more
Mm,
we are, the much easier and much better
yeah.
our end goal becomes. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Legend in the making. You just reminded me something here. To the check. I know what you try to do here. This guy is the legend, guys. He's the legend, like like the Facebook guy. Anyways, this is another thing that we also try to do. He just reminded me that if you are a content creator and you have your content that you already created or you are creating related to Africa. We have done that in our channels, like sharing some other people contents. If you're out there and you really want a platform to just share, don't hesitate to reach out to us as well. One Africa official at gmail.com. Reach out to us. We'll review your content. We'll see, as long as it's quality and the audio as well, we'll be able to share. Because even when we open Swahili Nation, it's not just a one person thing, but we want to be able to share all these content, about Africa. So if you want to be part of that and you just want to share this content that you create by yourself and you want that platform, that could be a better way to share your content, and as well for people to recognize and to know, who you are and what you do, and even later on to follow whatever work you're doing in whatever platform. We have done that. We have been doing that in the past, and yeah, it's an open door to everybody. And I like, because we have the same spirit in that sense. Because the very first conversation I had with you, Tunacheki, it was back in the days, when I was trying to have this conversation with and we talk about a lot of stuff. And
Definitely.
I think we need to bring our content creators together. We need to have some sort of
Yeah,
meet and all those stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need this. Yeah, we need that. We need that, brother. Yeah.
and before I forget, I promised our viewers are present at the end of this chat, because most of you guys stay with us for 1 hour. You take 1 hour of your time, right? So unfortunately, this giveaway is it applies for people in America. So, and to make it fair, I'll put the information here directly. So the first person to use the gift card is the first person that claims it, right? So the gift card, you can use it anywhere in the United States. So here's information. Be sure you're ready. First, I'll show the front where it has the normal card information, and then the back is where now you can access it. The first person to use it wins. So here is the number, if you can read. Let me see.
Oh, man.
Let me see.
Okay,
Can you read the number?
Yeah, I can actually read it. It's those four numbers, right?
Yeah. They're like all the. Sorry. I don't know where my camera is.
Yeah, that one.
There, okay. And here's the back end. So you can access the. Wait. Let me do this so that it focuses.
Yeah.
The security code, and here's the front. So you can get all
yeah.
the numbers.
So
let me pause it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's enough time for somebody to write it down, right? Then the back end, the security code for you to access it. This works on Amazon, just any online site, as long as you are in the United States, okay? I'm sure people in the United States know vanilla gift cards. They are the most common gift cards, right? So yeah, the first person to use it wins. Okay, so thank you for taking your time to watch us, and make sure to go to right now, all Tunacheki subscribers who are not subscribed to Swahili Nation, make sure to go to his channel. We'll leave it in the comments below. Please make sure to go to Swahili Nation, subscribe, give him a like, and join the community. So thank you for joining us. This has been Mekimushi from Tunacheki, and always remember, Africa is watching.
Oh, yeah. Bye.